welcome to the Hoops Rehab show on a Tuesday night. How you doing, Emac?
I'm going to flip this real quick for a second. Doing good.
Ooh.
How about yourself?
Dodgers.
How about them Dodgers?
If you're from LA, you know you're rooting for the Dodgers, and they are now up 2-0. Can't get better than that, especially with a complete game by Yamamoto.
Yeah, man. I know this is a basketball and football show, but just real dominance right now from starting pitching. And just one quick stat before we continue. So from 2010 to 2017, there were 16 complete games from pitchers and playoffs. Do you know how many there's been since 2017?
0.
Now 1 tonight.
Wow.
Pretty crazy.
So first complete game in playoffs since what? 2017?
Yeah. So like in the same span, the years before that, there was 16. So it kind of shows how different playoff pitching and starting pitching and what they see about it, or how they see it is now. But maybe Dodgers are kind of curbing that a little bit because it's now back to 7, 8, 9 innings. But pretty crazy. But
100%.
Anywho.
All right, everybody. So as always, I am the Game Injury Doc, aka Dr. Evan Jeffries. On my right is Eric B. Mack. We are the host of the Hoops Rehab Show. You can follow us at our YouTube page, which is the Hoops Rehab Show. Please hit that subscribe button if you are watching live right now, so you can always be ready for the content or when we go live or any videos that we are uploading. We also have the Instagram page, which is the Hoops Rehab Show. So please follow on there for other type of content. And as always, tomorrow we'll have the podcast. So wherever you get your podcast, just download the Hoops Rehab Show. Please, please, please subscribe to that, and then also rate and comment on there. That'd be greatly appreciated, so we can keep on providing all this content for you guys. All right, Eric. Are you ready to get this preseason and 1 week away from the NBA season ready?
I can't believe it. Yep. Let's do it.
All right. So we had, game's still going on, but it is preseason. So we are going on earlier in the fourth quarter since the starters are pretty much out. But today was Luka's first preseason game ever for the Lakers. So that was kind of big. Yep. And it was nice to kind of see him and Austin Reaves play together tonight. So, Eric, what were your initial thoughts of seeing Luka out there?
It's truly been the summer of Luka. Like, he can do no wrong, right? Just got in tip-top shape, just the things he was doing in the summer for his country, the things he's been doing for the organization, signed an extension. And then you kind of have like a little bit of the opposite, obviously, with LeBron, of course, off the court. Hopefully that changes, but he can kind of do no wrong heading into this preseason game, and he kind of continued that. He was definitely balling out there. I was just looking at his final stat line. I mean, in 22 minutes, 25 points, 4 for 8 from the 3-point line, and so yeah, he was looking in midseason form tonight. What did you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was getting to his spots like usual. He's going to be just a prime-time player this year. Obviously, he's going to get his points, but he's also just going to be a huge facilitator for the Lakers. As you can see, he's setting up people. One thing I am looking forward to, and I don't know if you noticed, but it's nice to see DeAndre Ayton down there because it feels like we haven't had a big, obviously besides Anthony Davis, but we haven't had a big – that was a true center. So you're going to see a lot of lobs from Luka to DeAndre Ayton. I expect he should at least get 3 to 4 every night. Well, that's a given 8 points right there, just off of lobs straight from Luka. So I'm excited to see that. And you saw one tonight, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was well documented all the second half of last year in the playoffs, the type of big that Luka just flourishes with. And so, yeah, it was a great sight to see, a lob threat, somebody to kind of, take away like a little bit of the kind of paint area, if you will, open up some kind of lanes for the guys. And so, yeah, if today was a small sample size of kind of what we're going to see, definitely super excited to see what the purple and gold bring us.
Yeah. And overall, when you look at Luka and what he's going to have to do for the Lakers early on, especially with LeBron out probably roughly 10 games or so, 10 to 15 games, do you think this, I mean, to me, in my opinion, it does, but does it up his chances of pretty much being a front runner for the MVP?
Yeah, I mean, when you think MVP, I'm kind of, I think, I have like three favorites. You have to obviously put the reigning MVP up there, and Jokic, right? And so it's gonna take quite a hell of a year to dethrone one of those two guys, because you just know they're gonna put up great numbers, and their teams are gonna also be right up there in the standings, right? So I think for Luka to be MVP, I think Lakers will probably have to get like maybe a 2 seed, and then him just have a tremendous year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think overall, like Luka's ability to be a triple double every night is going to be huge just for the Lakers in general, especially with having LeBron out. So I think, I mean, in the Eurobasket, I think he averaged 35 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, right? So I don't think he's going to have to do as much scoring, but I do see him around that 30 to 32 point range, especially with LeBron kind of missing some of the season. But then he's obviously going to average like that 10 and 8 or 9 and 8, something like in that range. So I just think those numbers, as long as he's a 2 seed, like you said, or they're in that top 3 seed, he's definitely an MVP candidate.
Yeah, I mean, we know how it is. You got to be, in most cases, obviously, when Russell Westbrook won it, they were the 6th seed. He averaged a triple double, which hadn't been seen, in a long time, obviously since Oscar Robinson. And so yeah, I think with the 30 to 32 points, being a contributor, it's gonna. I think if he is MVP, that means Lakers are in a good spot. Yeah, I'm going to take a quick 20 real quick. I'm going to fix my lighting real fast.
Yeah, for sure. So to me, I think the beginning of the season is going to be telling for the Lakers because number one, you get the opportunity for Luka to become the leader of the Lakers. Like, obviously, we've been talking about it all offseason. We've been talking about how this is his team now. He got the extension. LeBron is only signed for the 1 year, so we don't really know what's coming this year, whether or not he's going to retire next year, how much we're getting out of him now that he's been diagnosed with sciatica, right? And we don't know what we're going to truly get from somebody that's in their 23rd season. So I think just from the jump, as long as they start off winning, I think that will pretty much solidify him as the front runner and then also just the core Lakers leader, like he's been in all preseason.
Yeah, he really has. Just you can kind of tell the tables have turned, and we know who's going to be leading the way the next handful of years. And so, one thing will be interesting if let's say Lakers start off pretty good, right? First 15 games, maybe 11-4, 10-5. We'll see how they ease LeBron in, and that will be something, right? To see if he could kind of fit in, if you will. But I know we'll kind of talk a little bit more about the Lakers in the season, obviously starting in a week later. But yeah, I still feel, for the Lakers to be a contender, they're probably going to need LeBron and like the best version of him for in year 23. So yeah, I think it's fine. Just rest up. Let Luka carry the load the first, month or so and get that MVP campaign going.
Yeah. And I was just kind of looking up what's the best he's finished, and that was in 2023 when he finished 3rd behind Joker and SGA. So I think honestly, it's probably those 3 again. Yeah. If you were to look at all those type of players that are going to be up there, as long as SGA stays healthy, he's going to be up there. Joker is always going to be MVP threat, and whenever he doesn't win it, it's usually he's coming for another one, just because every year he's going to be triple-double. He's going to have his team atop of the West at some point. They're going to be pretty good seed, I think, this year. And so I think it'll be probably around those 3 players that will be the big difference. And then maybe add like an Anthony Edwards, because I think he'll have a big major step up this year.
Yeah, yeah. I think when it's all said and done, I mean, we know the top two because they've been the top two, and then maybe Edwards, obviously Luke. Just trying to think. Do you think? Hold on, what was I looking up here? No way. Oh, I mean, do you think you think Wemby? What is it? Is it year 3 or year 4 for Wemby?
Year 3.
3. Okay, so I'm gonna say probably year 4 is gonna be like, it's here. Year 4, year 5. We'll see. Kind of interested to see how he.
The only way Wemby can be ever in a consideration in that is his team's like top 3, and
Right.
I highly doubt the Spurs are going to be that high of a seed. I mean, obviously, I think he'll make an All-Star team. Obviously, again, like he did last year.
Yep.
I to be MVP this early on, Wemby, yeah, his team's got to be a top 3 team.
Yeah, I think so, and I think they're going to be pretty good this year. But we'll see how good. Maybe will it be one of those surprise teams, kind of like Houston and OKC the last couple years, that have a top seed. But yeah, it still might be a year away.
Wait,
speaking,
do you think they're going to make the playoffs this year?
I have them as a low end play-in team.
Okay.
That's where I got them. Maybe like an 8, 9.
Yep.
7, maybe surprise some people, like kind of flirt with, because I mean, you know how it is. It's just all season, 2, 3 to 7, 8. I mean, it's the West. I think it's going to be separated like by a few games, and then usually as the season progresses, maybe towards the end, it kind of there's a little bit of a gap. But I think I think they'll be right there in the play-in, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I think they for sure have the talent, like a lot of young talent. De'Aaron Fox getting a whole season with them is going to be a difference. So I think that will help too. So, I could see him definitely making a play-in. I just want to see if they can take that next jump where they're not just so close to 500 or like a couple games below 500 all year.
Right.
So let's see if they can actually start off quick and start off fast, and that might help them kind of get there.
Yeah, like I feel, doesn't mean it's going to happen this year, but I feel the last few years there's been surprise teams, like Sacramento a few years back, they're the 3 seed. OKC, I mean, they weren't a surprise 1 seed last year, but the year before being a 1 seed, coming from like the 10th to the 1st, and then Houston last year being a 2 seed. So like we've seen this, it's just that, San Antonio is so damn young, and they have probably a lot of work to do, but yeah. We'll see. I think there'll be a tough out, just like a lot of teams in the West. So,
for sure. All right. So I wanted to get into our next topic.
Speaking of All-Star,
can Austin Reaves make the All-Star team this year, Eric? And this is a serious question. I'm not really joking just because we're Laker homers and things like that. But can Austin Reaves make that next jump?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, look, I mean, we can't just base it on tonight, but he also had a hell of a game. He played quite a bit more than Luka. He played 31 minutes, but he also chipped in 25 tonight. And so, I mean, for Austin Reaves, he has progressed pretty much every year. I know he kind of started off slow last year, I believe, or was it the year before, maybe after playing for Team USA? One of the 2 years he started off slow, but his every NBA season he's pretty much gotten better. And so judging by that, if he takes that leap this year, again, Lakers if they have a pretty good record, he could be a beneficiary of LeBron being out just from like a statistic standpoint, right? You might say like, damn, he's averaging 25 or something to that effect. Then it's possible. I don't think he'll ever, I don't want to say ever, but he most likely will not get voted in to the starters. So that would mean the coaching staff of whoever's coaching will need to select him. I know you and I were doing a little bit of an exercise kind of looking at guards in the West. There was a time where I was like, oh man, there's no chance because of all the guards, and there's still some good ones, but us looking at it, right, we kind of saw maybe some possibilities there.
Yeah, I think the big thing is he took a leap last year and started averaging 20 points, and that's with a healthy LeBron throughout the majority of the season there. I think him and LeBron kind of reverse averages this year, based on LeBron being out and then kind of coming back and kind of working himself in. I think Austin, especially early on, will have a chance to average at least 25 without LeBron there, right? And I think he'll fall anywhere between that 23 to 25 point range. And if he does, especially what else he does on the court with rebounds and assists and kind of being that facilitator, and the Lakers obviously having a good record, I think there's a high chance that he can be an all-star, especially with the way the Lakers vote, even though I doubt he'd be voted as like a starter. But just getting his name out there, and I wouldn't be surprised if he starts off strong. And when they start the first voting count, you see Austin Reaves in the top 5, just because, like, you know how Laker fans get. They really are homers. They really kind of get on their players and and bring them up a little bit. But going through the guards, can you name 6 guards right now that will have a better season than Austin Reaves? Like, for sure have a better season.
Yeah, I didn't even look. I wanted to see how many guards were like picked in the All-Star game last year, but I figure like 5 or 6, right? So okay, so we know that obviously Luka's considered a guard, SGA, and Steph Curry. So those 3 we're gonna just put there. 2 of those 3 will be starters. 1 surprisingly will be not starting. And then you got the likes of Devin Booker, right? Okay. Depending how, how things go with Phoenix, it could be just a lost season for them, and maybe because of that he doesn't get in. Okay. Then unless I'm missing some guys, look, will Ja Morant kind of have like maybe kind of a return, bounce back? If you asked me 2 years ago, I'd be like, heck yeah, you're going to put Ja Morant there, right? Mm-hmm. But what I want to hear, I want to see what about my man Jamal Murray? Is he making the All-Star team? No.
No.
I knew that was coming quick. He's not
he has not made it yet. And no disrespect to Jamal Murray, but he is obviously not a regular season NBA All-Star type of player. He kills the Lakers all the time in the playoffs, and that's what he's known for. So he's more Mr. April, May, June than he is regular season Jamal Murray. So I don't think we put him in there.
Yeah. The wild card, did James Harden make it last year?
Yeah. So I was going to give you the guards last year. So
yeah, please.
From the West, we had Steph Curry, James Harden, Kyrie Irving. So he was a injury replacement for Anthony Davis. So that's how he made it.
Anthony Edwards too, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah. So Anthony Edwards, that's 4. Those 4 and Jalen Williams. So there's and Shea. So there's 6 West guards there.
Jalen Williams. Shoot, that's right.
Yeah.
He's considered a guard?
Yeah. And he's 6'5", remember?
Yeah.
I know. I always thought he was a forward, but he's really a guard.
Wait, who's their point guard?
Shea.
Oh, Shea, yeah. So Shea just can't even think of their lineup right now. Yeah, okay. So it's going to be tough. Just because of the two OKC guys, right? You got to have them. I'm sure they're going to have an outstanding season.
Yep.
There was another name.
You have Steph, that's 3. You have Anthony Edwards, that's 4. But I think the 2 people that you think about is James Harden and Kyrie.
Right.
Like Kyrie's not going to be there.
No.
James Harden will, but are you giving like a, 37-year-old, how old is he? 37-year-old James Harden another All-Star appearance? It just depends on how well he does.
Yeah, with the Clippers, they have a lot of, they're older, but they have a lot of pretty good players. So they may be like they have such a deep rotation in terms of like guys that they may not have like the statistics for an All-Star game. So maybe like if Kawhi stays healthy, he's like will be the lone All-Star. I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe the big guy over there. But can't even think of his name right now. But
Zubac?
Zubac. Yeah. So Yep. Hey, if you asked me in years past, as I mentioned earlier, I would probably say no chance. But with some of the injuries, guys like Steph Curry and James Harden getting a little older, Steph Curry will be there, believe me. But just saying, right? Injuries happen too, right? It could be someone that's selected and just gets banged up, and maybe he's a fill-in. You never know, right?
Yeah.
So,
And we got to remember that Luka is replacing one of those. So,
yes,
you got Steph.
That's right.
Right. So it's Steph, Luka, Shea. That's 3, and then you're saying Anthony Edwards is 4, and then it's like
Probably
Jalen Williams, and then there's one more. Can be Harden. One of those guards that are out there. Like somebody will be that they miss it and there'll be a big snub, right? So it's like one of those guards will be there. I think it's like that 6 guard Austin Reaves would have a chance to get between Harden, him, and maybe another guard out there. So
Fox, there's guys.
Fox.
Yeah, who do you think this is?
De'Aaron Fox?
I'm just looking at like the rosters. The Houston, no, right?
They don't have it. Oh, you don't put Amen Thompson not a guard. I hope they don't list him as a guard there.
Yeah,
but
Pelicans, no.
Yeah, don't.
Minnesota, we talked about Edwards, obviously. Portland, no. Clippers, yeah. No, I mean,
so
obviously John Morant is a wild card too.
Yeah, so there you go. So John Morant, if he's out there in averaging 25 to 30 points a game and stuff like that, we know he'll probably be in it as well. So it's a good conversation to have. I think it's warranted for the type of trajectory that Austin Reaves is on right now. So I think it's going to be a pretty interesting discussion as the season goes on.
Yep, it will be. It will be.
All right. So I wanted to. Oh, actually, before we get into it, if you guys have any comments on that, like who you think Austin Reaves can be All-Star, you think Luka can be MVP, or any other discussions you want to have, please drop it in the comments, and we'll try to get to it at the end of the show. I do see my man Cam Miller in there saying, "Let's go Dodgers." Thank you, Cam. Appreciate it, because hopefully Dodgers are at least 2 more wins away from the World Series. So,
sir.
All right. So, Joel Embiid, the man, the myth, the mystery of his left knee. He obviously had surgery again in April of this year, or for the left knee from meniscus tear. Sounds like they did more of the same, where they're removing some of it. I don't think I heard that he had repair, unless they're kind of hiding that fact. But the fact that he's already had surgery on that knee twice is not a good sign to do a repair. It's probably not healthy tissue. So, big news came out that he scrimmaged with the Sixers on Sunday. It was kind of like they do their, what is it called, the blue and white team scrimmage. So they kind of just scrimmage against each other with fans there. There's been no reports that he had any ill effects from it. He's been kind of on this partial practicing schedule. And it seems like they haven't talked about the knee at all this preseason, which is a good sign. Now, can he hold up in a regular season? That is what we don't know. And the big question is, it looked like he lost some weight, but I think that's one of the biggest things for him. And I don't think he gets talked about enough for Joel Embiid. I felt like if he lost like 30 pounds at least, he would have a better chance to be successful with his knee injury kind of moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. It was a pleasant surprise there, obviously, for Philly fans. I mean, we don't know what a regular season is going to bring. I mean, just kind of looking, I know we've talked about it before. So last year he played 19 games, the year before 39, the year before that 66. So we'll kind of see where he falls in there. If they can get 55 to 60 games out of him, and he's healthy going into the playoffs, or healthy-ish, I'm sure they'll take that. I just wonder a couple things. So you said the weight. I'm assuming part of it is probably a little bit of maybe work ethic, but a part of it as well is just the injuries. I'm sure like him having procedures and not being able to be really as active. I mean, that's, a recipe for disaster. But I'm just wondering, I mean, do you think, like from a medical standpoint, we know what's happened to his knee. I mean, is there any possibility that it's just like not a concern? I mean, not really a concern now. I mean, could it have gotten that? Is there anything that, I don't know. I figure that's probably impossible to say, because it probably is always going to be. But I mean, I wonder if he can get through a regular season and playoffs. Yeah,
I kind of look at it as similar to the Kawhi situation, right? Like Kawhi's had a lot of procedures on his knees, at the ACL. He's had some meniscus stuff. And he's kind of slowly worked his way back. Like
Yeah.
remember last
He
season,
had a pretty
it
good
was
year
like
last year, or at
the
least
summer.
second half of the year.
He was supposed to be on the Olympic team. They kind of shut him down, allowed him to really get into, get his knee right. And he missed obviously the first portion of the season, and then kind of came back slowly and built his way back up to the point where he felt like in the playoffs, he was pretty solid. He was all there. And then going into this season, he seems to be pretty much all that's been behind him because he's got an off season where he didn't have to just deal with the knee injury. I think that's like Joel Embiid. I think you have to slowly kind of bring him back this year. And whether that's making more of a minute restriction, like he plays more games, but he plays 20 to 25 minutes a game, right? Just trying to decrease some of the load onto his knee, but allow him to play at that frequency. So he's not just playing one game every couple of days or whatever, every 3 games or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think there's a chance for him to kind of follow that footprint and then get through the season, at least play 55 to 60 games, and then go into the next season healthy, and then try to repeat that process and kind of get back into the shape there.
Yeah, get some good points. I mean, if I were Philly brass and Joel Embiid, I would prefer kind of, going that 24 to 28 minutes ish a game versus like the 35 to 38. But then, like you said, him missing every back-to-back and him only playing 1 out of 3 games, like that doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. So if they can kind of find that, middle ground, and then maybe towards the end of the season, kind of start to ramp up a little bit to maybe, hey, in the playoffs, he's going to have to play, 30 to 32 minutes, something like that.
For sure.
Get a whatever, make the playoffs, get a decent seed, maybe get a 5-6, play in, win a round or 2. And I think that'll be successful kind of heading into the following season. But as we know, Philly, I mean, they're going to have some expectations. These guys aren't getting any younger with Paul George and whatnot as well. So,
and he's injured too, right? He's coming off the knee injury and trying to work his way back up, which I don't think he's going to be ready for the season opener, but he'll probably be ready in a couple weeks or whatnot. But they have a team theoretically that can at least challenge in the East, especially how weak the East is. If they get all 3 to finally be healthy and play together, along with Maxi's emergence from last year and kind of the previous year, that's a playoff team. But that's a big if. Big if.
Huge.
And if things go sour this year again, I can't imagine Nick Nurse being there after this year. Just not that he's a bad coach. I just think that it has gone awry and they just need some sort of change. And whether that's trading players or kind of just mixing up everything, it'll be one of those seasons if they don't even make if they somehow don't make the playoffs in this weak East.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've talked about it. The East is going to be wild this year, meaning I think teams are going to be going for it. You're going to see some crazy just trades at the deadline, just some wild maneuvers. Cause it's like, it is completely, you're going to have your couple top tier teams, of course, as we've talked about, but it is pretty wide open. And so I'm sure Philly would like to kind of ease into the season, but the opportunity's there. So it's like, you got to weigh that as opportunity versus just making smart decisions about the health of their team. So we'll see. Hopefully, kind of wish for a healthy season, because when Joel Embiid is at his best, he's obviously an MVP level type player. I mean, he won the MVP a couple years back, and Philly is when Philly's good, it's a good for the NBA. So we'll see.
Yeah, and we'll see the last preseason game. It sounds like he has a chance to play, which would be at least something to get him on the court, get a feel for the game, and allow him to be ready for the opener, which would be pretty exciting for Philly fans to have him back.
Yeah, man, it'd be nice.
All right, Eric. So we are 1 week away from opening night. What's your thoughts on that? Are you ready for the season? You excited?
I'm excited. I guess I wasn't, because before we started talking about like our topics for the show tonight, I didn't even realize it was a week away. Like I'm like, oh yeah. Shoot, the 21st. It just, season starting earlier and earlier these days. It feels like, or it's like kind of like that, that Tuesday, like second to last Tuesday of the month, I guess. But it'll be interesting to see, man. We got Lakers per usual are going to be kicking things off against the Warriors. And then of course Thunder are going to have their ring ceremony night against Houston. NBA likes
KD
to
back to OKC there. Smart.
KD back to OKC with the ring ceremony. It's going to be electric, that crowd. And so the NBA definitely knows how to spice things up to start. We are going to have NBA on NBC.
Yep.
That's another factor. So that'll be a little different than kind of used to seeing the guys in TNT kind of kick things off. So that'll be definitely a bit strange, but hopefully they come with a John Tesh song to really kick it off and start the season.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. For it to be like, all right, what does NBC actually look like? What's their pregame look? Or is their pregame going to be at the game? I kind of want to see what that all looks like. Unless I guess they'll be at the Thunder game. Because they're the champs, even though they don't have the primetime game.
You know where the TNT crew would be at.
We all know. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's exciting to see like how the games are called, kind of how it looks. Just a different feel. I'm obviously going to miss TNT. Just like a whole atmosphere of what TNT always brought, the consistency of what they brought, the show. But now that NBC's got it, it's going to remind me of the 90s days. So I'm excited for that. The only thing I'm not excited for is I hope ESPN does not F up this inside the NBA team. I'm just really worried about it because I see the schedule. It's like the first two, they're on maybe one game, and then the next game they're not on until like November or something, like late November. Like, no. Like, they need to be every week. I don't understand. Twice a week, whatever, whenever the show, they would always be on like whatever night they were on for TNT.
Yeah.
So that Wednesday night should always be their night or whatever it is for ESPN this year. So I hope they don't mess it up. I hope it's the same type of show, same type of format, same amount of time that they give them. That I'm a little worried about going into the season.
Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. Yeah, they definitely were basically, I think during like football season, they would be on Tuesdays. And then once football season ended, they would be on Thursday. So yeah, once a week, which is good, right? I'm sure that's kind of what
it's normal.
Which would be normal. And then obviously playoffs, you get every night. And so that's always like, for me, that's like the fun time is like towards the end of the season and in the playoffs. So if they can kind of work that in, would be nice. But I mean, obviously, like somebody like you and I, we're going to be kind of all over the regular season. Yep. But we know how it is, right? At the beginning, it's always exciting, and then you have like, which the NBA is trying to curb it by having the NBA Cup. But a lot of we always hear about it. Oh, we're not going to even think about basketball till Christmas or till the All-Star game. So that's usually how it is. You have those first couple of weeks, it's exciting. The season's back, but with the NBA Cup, hopefully that kind of brings a little bit more excitement. And then obviously we got the Christmas games and carry it from there. But as far as you and I go, we'll definitely be all over it. And so that'll be exciting.
Yeah, that's what I'm most excited about this year in general. Having the Hoops Rehab show for the full season.
Yes,
As you guys have been following us, we kind of got on in April. So it was almost like the week right before playoffs. And so we just kind of got that tail end of the season and then rolled in the playoffs. And then now we're going to have a full season of the Hoops Rehab show. So I'm excited about that. Just kind of getting it started with next week.
Yep. I think that'll be good. I mean, we'll probably kind of dedicate our Sundays, obviously, to football. I mean, there are some Sunday basketball games, so I'm sure we'll incorporate a little bit of that. But then all of our other shows, I think from kind of what we discussed, will be just a lot of basketball, and it's kind of our bread and butter, and look forward to it, man. Yeah.
Exciting times. All right, Eric, before we get out of here, any other comments here?
Let's see. Obviously, not really important, but Lakers, I think they lost, right? I'm assuming.
They finished the game, 113, 104.
Yeah, that Lakers preseason, at least they won their last game. But so they played 4 games, so they got 2 more games to go. And then, 1 week away. Let's get it.
Yeah, maybe exciting to see what in their second to last preseason game or somewhere around there, had the full kind of starting lineup to see what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
I want to see what that's going to look like with Rui, or if they're going to have Laravia in it, or they're going to have Marcus Smart. So that'd be kind of interesting to see if they got that lineup at all before they kind of get into the regular season.
Yeah, you think it'd be nice to see at least one time before the season starts, just for a bit, right? Just for maybe first half of the first quarter. Just kind of see what they got, or else, we'll see it, I guess, on a week from today against the Warriors. Ooh, good one.
Ooh. You know how it is with Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy Butler.
I know. Here we go.
Exciting times. All right, everybody. We are going to get out of here, but as always, the Hoops Rehab team is out. Peace out, guys.
Peace out.